Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here this morning. The rain held off, but it is chilly. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the shared traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Tsawwassen, Musqueam, and other Coast Salish peoples. Today we recognize the fallen soldiers who gave their lives for this country, now listed forever on the Cenotaph here in Memorial Park. Captain Miles Selby, Sapper Stephen John Stock, and Trooper Percy Leonard Devereaux. First, I'd like to welcome the Selby family, the Stock family, and the Devereaux family, and all friends and relatives that have gathered here today. At this time, I'd like to invite Angeline Splockton and Frank Campbell from the Tsawwassen First Nation.
Just want to explain, on behalf of our veterans, thanking them for what they did. But my hands are up. Let's go.
I would now like to invite Suzanne Norden to lead us in the singing of O Canada.
So good morning, I'm George Harvey, Mira Delta, and honored to be part of today's official unveiling of the addition of 3 distinguished Delta veterans to the historic Ladner Cenotaph. I would like to thank the families of the fallen soldiers being recognized for joining us today. We appreciate the efforts of those that have traveled from Alberta to attend the ceremony. Please note that it's not usually this cold here, it's usually a lot sunnier. Please know that we are very honored to be in your presence, and we hope you take peace and comfort in the War Memorial.
Second Class Trooper Percy Leonard Devereaux. None of us knew him, but we're here today to talk about him and to imagine what he might have been like. He was very tall. He was 5'11", so at the time that was a man who stood out. He weighed 160 to 170 pounds, again heavier than many men at the time. And he had a 37-inch chest, so he was a strong fellow. He had hazel eyes, fair or blonde hair, and he had at the time what was described as a fresh or florid complexion, so healthy. And he was described as strong. So he was grew up here in Ladner, went to school here, did all the things that Ladner boys do. And then he found a job over in Nanaimo. He was a dealer in farm produce. And it was in Nanaimo where he heard about the call by General Lord Baden-Powell to form the South African Constabulary. There was a call across the British Empire, and many Canadians joined. A few other men in Ladner joined. And he was examined by a doctor in Nanaimo, who considered him to be a very sound and capable young man, a fine ride and good shot, sober, important, perfectly healthy, and very reliable. So we went over there from Halifax down to Cape Town, South Africa, trained a little bit, and then became involved in the conflict over there. The constabulary was a mounted unit, so if you've ever pictured cavalrymen, cowboys, that's what they did. So he served with them for a year. And 2 days before the war ended, before peace was declared, he became the last man to die in the Boer War. He was involved in probably a friendly fire incident, where we're not sure whether, regrettably, a bullet from his own comrades got him or a bullet from the Boers got him. But he was injured, was wounded, fell down, and died a day later on the last day of the war. As was common at the time, his comrades bought his clothes and kit. There was some final pay owing to his family. 14 pounds, 19 shillings and 5 pence were sent to his mother here in Ladner. So he's over in South Africa. His name appears on a couple of memorials in South Africa. And now I'm very pleased to see his name on our cenotaph here in Ladner. Thank you very much.
Padre Short, would you please join me at the podium to say a few words?
Thank you, and how incredibly moving it is to see all of you here. And I want to thank you for making the effort to come, and there's probably too many thank yous to make to the various people that have made this happen, but especially to the mayor and council and the municipal staff for doing double duty. They have to tear all this down now and get ready for November 11th, so we appreciate their efforts. I wanted also to acknowledge and share with you that November 8th was Aboriginal Indigenous Veterans Day, and we actually do have on the cenotaph a member of the Tsawwassen First Nations, Rifleman Walter Williams of the Regina Rifles. He landed in France just after D-Day, and on August 20th, 1944, he was killed in France, and that is where he is buried. I have a friend from my military days who always says, a person can never be forgotten if someone says their name. And so we're here today to ensure, as our forebears did 101 years ago, that the names of those who died in Canada's wars and conflicts that came from Delta, BC, would always be spoken as they were then and into eternity. So this is about names. Miles Selby, Captain, Royal Canadian Air Force. Miles grew up in an adventuresome outdoor aviation family that enjoyed sports, fishing, scuba, and travel. And as Julie will tell you, the whole family, even the women, did those things together. As a young boy, he aspired to be a fighter pilot. His mother, Christine, is with us today. Roland, her husband, is deceased. Julie is here. Rhonda Mazzaculat is here. Conrad Cook and Cynthia Cook. And it's an honor to have those family members and other family members and friends with us. When he was training to be a pilot in Moose Jaw, he was known as the quiet kid that sat at the back of the class and didn't say anything. So at the end of his training, people were surprised to discover that he had been awarded a trophy called the Golden Centenaire, which had not been awarded for a number of years because to win that trophy, you had to be the top pilot in all categories. You had to be the top student in team spirit and in collaboration. So all of a sudden, the quiet guy at the back of the class got the trophy that no one had gotten for a number of years. He met Julie as he was traveling back and forth to Italy from his deployment, and they connected because they'd both grown up in South Delta, and they were married in 2004. His incredible skills and his personality and his team spirit got him appointed to the elite snowbird team, and he died in a mid-air collision during training on Friday, December 10th, 2004. Sapper, which is military talk for a combat engineer. Stephen John Stock, Royal Canadian Army. He attended South Delta Secondary School when Dave and Leona moved to Tsawwassen, and he does have a brother, Brian, who's not able to be with us today. He made numerous friends from his Delta years, and a number of them are with us here today. He loved the outdoors, he loved sports, he loved keeping fit. He played football for the Sun Devils. His jersey number 42 was retired, and there is a memorial to him at South Delta Secondary School. And every year, as they will do today, they take out his picture and his jersey, and they remember him in their Remembrance Day ceremony. He got hooked on the military when the Canadian Armed Forces recruiters visited his grade 12 class, In proceeding through the military, he joined the regular force. He did his basic training in Quebec, and then he was posted to 1 Combat Engineering Regiment. His skills, his compassion, his thoughtfulness, and his leadership made him a natural to be deployed to Afghanistan in February of 2008. And on August 20th, 2008, patrolling in a combat vehicle on a stretch of road in the Zari province in southern Afghanistan, he was killed along with 2 of his comrades when a roadside IED exploded. Lots of people are going to gather around here tomorrow. There'll be a parade, there'll be wreath laying, there'll be talking. And I imagine that the spirits of these men, previously inscribed here, will also gather in their empty tomb, and they will welcome 3 new members to their mess. They all made the supreme sacrifice. They gave their life in service. And like most soldiers, they'll tell some stories that are slightly exaggerated. They may lift a pint. They'll talk about their families. And they'll welcome 3 new members to the mess. Trooper Percy Devereaux, Sapper Stephen John Stock, and Captain Miles Selby. May all of those who have given their lives for this country know that they are not forgotten, that we have no words that can adequately thank them for their sacrifice, that we miss them, and we love them, and we long for the day of great reunion when we are reunited in the world to come. And to us, they may say these words from John Maxwell Edmonds: when you go home today, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. For your tomorrow, we gave our today.
Roland Selby, father of Captain Miles Selby, wrote a poem for his son. And we will now hear this poem read by Julie Selby. I'd ask Miss Selby to please join me at the podium.
Golden Beautiful Boy by Roland Selby. Golden beautiful boy, you filled our lives with joy. As babe, as child, as boy, as man, your being made our being whole. Know what, Dad? With 4-year-old stern intensity. What, Miles? With heart sunk, apprehensive, fatherly concern. I like you, with impish smile and loving tone. Golden, beautiful boy, you filled our hearts with joy. Your rainbow smile changed every rain cloud day mood into a sun-bright azure skies and effused our hearts with the gift of your love. Our parting words each time you left, I miss you already, gave promise of reunion and of happiness renewed to share again the wonder of our memories most precious. Sunshine brilliant prisms of light, your magnetic smile imagined, your voice from afar enriched our days. Hi, Mom, hi, Dad. Such symphonic sounds sung in joyous song. Golden beautiful boy, you filled our souls with joy. You flew your someday silver supersonic wings into our lives and blessed our days with the magic of your spirit, a priceless gift from God, our Son. Alas, one winter white Saskatchewan snow morn, you spread your scarlet snowbird wings and flew from our lives. Our copper sun lacks your warmth. Our blackest nights are darker without you. The daffodils, now no longer yellow, weep with us in our garden. Blue, cobalt blue, indigo our mood. The spring rains, a deluge, are nothing to our tears.
We will now have the traditional last post, 2 minutes of silence, the lament, and the rouse, followed by the act of remembrance.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
At this point, we will now lay flowers as a token of our gratitude for these lives and their dedication and service to our country.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Life is short and at times unpredictable, which means that we only have a certain amount of time to gladden the hearts of those who travel with us. So as you leave this place, make haste to be kind and be quick to love, and go in peace. Amen.